Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, where you can awaken your mind to clarity and success even in today's life challenges. We're here to provide insights and solutions that will help you live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Hello, everybody. This is Joanne Victoria with another amazing episode of the Sanity Project podcast. You are here to discover a life of clarity, confidence, sanity, and entrepreneurial success. I'm very excited about our guest today, Les Watson, because he's going to talk about how to get back an hour every day. In fact, he's written a book about it. Get back an hour in every day, the A to Z of being more productive. Les Watson's passion for and expertise in time management and productivity has earned him the nickname the Time Lord. He has worked extensively throughout Australia and Southeast Asia, delivering dynamic training programs to major corporations, small businesses, and individuals. Les's depth of knowledge and skill comes from over 30 years of experience as a trainer, speaker, and facilitator in self-management, motivation, and communication. He lives and breathes time management in his own life. Welcome to the show, Les Watson.
Hey, Joanne. Nice to be here.
I am glad that you are here. I have fun with people from Australia, even if it is the middle of the night there.
Yes, I fell out of bed and went, let's do a podcast, shall we?
Yeah. That is kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how people cannot manage their time properly. Why can't people manage their time properly?
Time is a standard. Everyone interacts with it. Some do it very well. Others do it less than well. And it's something that you can't escape. It's with us all the time. You're either on time or you're not. You're either on the ball or you're behind. And the amount of conversations that I have with people that say, I've got way too much to do and not enough time to do it in is beyond reckoning. It's the amount of people, I shake my head and go, here's another one, here's another one. And maybe the listeners are in that boat where it's anxiety coming on them, or I'm under a deadline, or I've got time pressure. And my aim in life is to make life easy for people. And I have a model, the easy model, and it's all about how to work with time, get back that hour in every day, and create the life that you want to lead, as opposed to being at the beck and call of others and being under the pump. So I'm not sure. How's your relationship with time, Joanne?
Well, it depends on what I have to do. I have semi-schedules for Monday through Friday, and it works for me when I write things down. I make a list. So I know if I need to be someplace at 1:15 on a Monday afternoon, I leave the house at 12:45. Yep. I don't play too many games. I like to be early for something. And I have to look at my schedule and see what else is before or after that. So, I have my meeting times with clients programmed. If I didn't have these special programming scheduling apps, it would be difficult for me. It would just, it would be like they didn't exist and I go back to my calendar. But I like to have time before and after a meeting. I like to have time in between meetings. And I like not to answer the phone after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have a little, bit of a regiment that I just stick to. And that works. Yeah, it's worked for me. People used to say, don't call Joanne after 6. Now it's 5 and it's going to go to 4. In the summertime when I can be outside here in the Pacific Northwest, because we have sunshine until 9 o'clock at night.
Awesome. You covered off so many things, and I could go in so many directions, and we have so little time. So, do you mind if I go off on a couple of those things?
Go off. Do it.
Okay. So, first thing you said was you write lists. So, lists are great. If you're not a list person, Joanne and I are list people. It's like, what do I need to get done today? And you write it down. Now, I'll go a step further. I have a thing called plan each day the day before, that you can actually finish the day. Last thing you do before you leave your desk, or whatever your desk is, whether it's desk in an office or desk at home, when you close your laptop for the day or shut down your computer for the day, the last thing to do is to plan tomorrow and look at it from that standpoint of what appointments do I have coming up? Who am I meeting with? What tasks do I need to do? So planning tomorrow, because the worst thing to do is to get to tomorrow morning and go, so Joanne, did you order the breakfast? And Joanne says, no, that wasn't on my task list, it was on yours. And we have no breakfast because I forgot to check it the day before. So plan each day the day before. Do lists. Now, Jane, you've got a diary. I've got a diary. Some people are able to do it on a paper-based diary, and that works for them. I have people that say, no, apps don't work for me. And that's okay. And others, like I did a paper-based diary for 25 years. And then I went, I don't feel comfortable moving to an app. It took me about 3 weeks to summon up the courage, and I teach it. So given that, I moved over to an app and the world didn't stop. Nothing collapsed. I didn't lose any clients. Everything was fine. And now I share a diary. Check this out. I share a diary with my wife. So she can put stuff in my calendar. I can put stuff in her calendar, and it enables us to communicate a whole lot more effectively. There are those in corporate that do it from that basis of, we do a shared calendar. But if you're a small business or a solopreneur, then is there someone in your life that you have a lot of relation with that you need to share a calendar with? There's a tip. The other one is, where does your calendar or your list live? For me, it lives in my trusted system. So I have a thing called a trusted system. For me, it's a planner. And the planner is like a Filofax or a Collins Debden 6-ring binder. So I actually have a to-do list for the day's date. And it really is something that I look at and go, what appointments have I got? What tasks do I need to do? And then I have a page on the right-hand side where I can take any notes for the day. So that's a trusted system. Trusted systems work. The opposite is, sorry, Joanne, it's around here somewhere. It was on the back of an envelope. It was on a Post-it note. I was in one of my 16 diaries. I don't know. Sorry, Joanne, I can't find it.
When people do that, I just want to scream at them or hit them. It's like, I only book, I tell people only book 3 high-value activities a day. Whatever else goes with that, that's enough. And when they haven't got a system, and people laugh at me because I carry a planner with me, and it's paper, and I may go to an app and do that. Now that you've mentioned that, and it's not the first time I've heard that. But you can't put these things on little slips of paper. I'm more important than that.
Very good. And I like your point about high value activities. People, when I introduce them to a paper-based system and they put 40 things on their list for the day, and then they turn to the next day and go, now put them onto the next day. And then I need to put them onto the next day. This system doesn't work. I go, no, the system works. You're putting too much on your day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So put 3 things. Put 3 things. Get those 3 things done. And then if you want to put more on it, then go right ahead, put more on and tick those off, because the sense of accomplishment that you get from having tick, 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 or highlight, or whatever that might be, it ends up going, woohoo, look at me, I'm a winner. I'm being productive. And then you move to tomorrow. And as Joanne said, what's the next 3 things that I'm going to do tomorrow? So give yourself a break. It's not 40 things. So I do a data dump. I get the things out of people's heads down onto paper, anything that is incomplete. And that could be a thought that you've had and you've not started, something you've started and not continued, something you've continued and not finished, and something that you may have finished and not acknowledged. And if that cycle is broken, that cycle of productivity, if that's broken in any place, it creates and incompletion, and they stick in your head until you take them out and write them down.
Yeah.
But if you are able, go, Joanne.
No, I was going to say it creates a lot of chaos in your head.
Yeah, and no one wants to. People say, well, how come I can't concentrate? How come I'm constantly distracted? Well, maybe it's the incompletions in your head. So you get it out of your head, down onto paper, and if someone goes, I need that, then just hit me up, and there'll be the details in the show notes. But I'm happy to share that with you, where I will walk you through. It's an audio link that I will walk you through that trigger list of words to get the incompletions out of your head down onto paper. And what happens once you do that, the majority of people that I work with will say, oh, I had no idea I had so many. And then they go into overwhelm and go, oh, no, I've got so many things I need to do. Well, you already had them. All I did was bring them out of your head down onto paper and make them conscious. So then you get to choose. Are there things on there that you're never going to do? That, Joanne, it's been on the list for 12 years. I think it's time to let it go.
God.
No.
Oh, God.
No, I really like it, Les, but you haven't done it for 12 years. Why don't you let it go? Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Because if you're holding onto it and using energy and holding onto it, if you let it go, you take that energy into something you really want to do and you're more productive. So things you can delete, 2-minute jobs. And the reason you do 2-minute jobs is because you get them done. It's awesome. Thank you very much. Doing this, doing that, being productive. There are single action items which are longer than 2 minutes and not a project. Things like a library book, put it in the car, drive to the library, put it through the slot and drive home again. So that's a single action. And then you got projects with more than one action. And then there are some things that are someday maybe or someday I'll, that for the future, for later, called next year, the year after, going to Japan or going to Egypt, whatever it might be, that's not on the radar right now. So out of your head, down onto paper, and then categorize those things. So there you go.
That's amazing, because people don't even come close to doing what you've suggested. It's in their head. I had years ago, when I was doing workshops, seminars, and I had one new person joined, and he was very proud. He handed me a yellow pad. And what has it got? 50 pages, 80 pages on a yellow pad, something like that. Every page was filled with things that he had to do. Every page was filled. And I said, well, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something akin to throw it away. So, so what he did do was he, followed whatever my directions were, similar to what you're talking about. Not exact, but close enough. And then a few weeks later, he gave me a craft envelope with ashes inside.
Nice.
He just decided to let it all go. He just said he couldn't even get through half of it. So he just decided to give it up and wait for new stuff that was really important in his life.
That's awesome. I love that. And it is very freeing once you get it out of your head down to the paper. I think the listeners will also have that thing of, I'm trying to do one thing and there's a little thing on my shoulders going, what about me? What about me? What about me? What about me? You haven't done me. Have you done me? Do you need to focus on me? So the bright, shiny object syndrome comes in. It's like, oh, I'm going to move my focus over here. And then something else happens and you move your focus. So a lot of distractions happen in that process of having too much in your head. So having it out of your head down onto paper and living in your trusted system, somewhere that you trust, that you go, if I take it out of my head, put it in my trusted system, it will get done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. The peace that comes from it is immense. It's absolutely immense because you're not doing the what about this and what about this and what about this. You take it out of your head, put it onto paper, and you go, wait a minute, it's calm. Wait a minute, I'm creative. And you end up spending time in those pursuits that you really want to do rather than having the worry of stuff. Joanne, you mentioned something else earlier, and that was boundaries. I just want to cover off boundaries. People will want to suck your time. They're time vampires. Oh, Joanne, have you got 5 minutes?
No.
And 20 minutes. See that boundary? Very clear boundary. But what happens is you go, oh, yeah, I've got 5 minutes. And 20 minutes later, you go, I didn't have 20 minutes and I didn't enroll myself for 20 minutes. Why am I? Oh, no. How did I do this again with this person? So a boundary is really easy, and it's against those, or it's for those kind of people that come at you going, can I interrupt? And you go, yeah, now's not a good time. Can we do that at 3? Or now's not a good day. Can we do that tomorrow? It's not saying no. It's not being arrogant and negative. It's going, I need to work on some things that are really important to me right now. And I understand what you've got's important. However, I need to do this. Can we do yours tomorrow? Or can we do yours this afternoon? So boundaries are really important as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, as a small business owner, even as individuals. You know you've got people in your life that will take your time. And sometimes you need to go, now's not a good day for that. Can we do it tomorrow?
Yeah, I know that I have on LinkedIn and Facebook that people message me about, they're basically trying to sell me their product, and they're looking for 15 minutes of my time. And I've started ignoring them. Most of them I responded to before politely, and it's like it doesn't end. And then I've had people who want to be a guest on the podcast, and I say, see if you're a fit. Look at the podcasts that have already been published and see if you think you fit into what my scribe says about who comes on my show. And they ignore that and still want to spend time with me. Now, that's been 30 minutes later, and they're still looking for more of my time. I don't have it. I don't have it. And then they go away and they sulk and suck their thumb.
Yep. And if we are to encourage people to get back the sanity that they're after, then maybe this is one of those areas that you can go, I need to put up some boundaries. I can't be the yes person all the time. I need to have a boundary and look after me. And yes, it's selfish. But what's the airplane theory? The oxygen theory? Put your mask on first and then help others, because you can't pour out of an empty cup. You must look after yourself. So if you're a family person, you're looking after family members, look after yourself so you can look after the family members. If you're in business, then look after yourself so you can be in business long term, because it's all about longevity. You should be in it for the long term, not the short term.
Absolutely. So what is the biggest complaint? I mean, out of all the complaints people have and trying to find more time and trying to follow your structure that you give to people, what are the top 3? Say, for example, that right off the top of your head, that people say, beyond the fact that they don't have enough time, and they're not willing to do anything, or they don't think they're capable of doing anything to create time, to create opportunity, to create openness. What are the top complaints that you get?
I think we've already covered off one, and that is the tool of a trusted system. So that's a tool in and of itself. I can't find things.
Right.
I get lost in things. So having a trusted system so that it's all in one place. And again, it's a process, and I can walk people through it. Happy to have conversations. I'll even put a Calendly link in the show notes, or Joanne will, and you can get in touch and we'll have a conversation about it. If you're serious about increasing your productivity, then book some time with me. Happy to give you 30 minutes for free. Love that. But one of the biggest ones is procrastination. Procrastination, putting it off. I'll get to that later. And it's like, 10 to 1, it's not going to happen. Or 10 to 1, you leave it so late that the time looms very large and ugly, and you end up under the pump. So procrastination, the counter to procrastination is leadership. And everyone wants to be a leader, even if it's just leading the dog. So as a leader, are you leading your life? Are you leading your time? Are you making decisions? You didn't get to be where you are today by making bad decisions. You made good decisions, so back yourself. Joanne says back yourself. Les says back yourself. So you need to go out there today and back yourself with your decisions and make decisions. So either yes or no. The more decisions you can make, the more productive you'll be. So I talk about the email. There's another one that gets on a lot of people's road is email. But there are 4 things to do when an email comes in. Do, dump, delegate, or decide when. And the do is really easy. It's if it can be done in 2 minutes, do it. Dump it is really easy. The most underused key on the keyboard is the delete key. So get it out of there. Delegate it if it's not yours and you're in a team and you need to handball it to somebody else, then do that. Give it to somebody else, but do it nicely with clear timeframes and outcomes. And the last one is decide when. If it can't be done in 2 minutes right now, then decide when you're going to do it. Put it into your schedule, into your calendar, into an app, and have it be an alarm set so that, oh, look, I've got an appointment with myself to do that particular task. So the opportunity for the individual to be the leader, then the next one is discipline, to do it on a regular basis, to have people around you that encourage you to have a practice of discipline around time management, making decisions, not procrastinating, having clear boundaries. That they're the things that I believe are the big ones: procrastination, not having a system, and not leading.
Okay, audience, I hope you got that. And you can see right now when you're looking at Les Watson's page on my website that there is is it a Calendly link? I think there's a link to book time with Les. No matter where you are located, there's going to be a time available in your space and in your area to book a 30 free minute convo with Les about time. And awesome. He does that graciously.
Awesome.
So
and if it's okay with you, Jane, can I give something away?
Oh, please do. People love things.
So that half hour is probably $150 worth of my time that I'm going to give you.
At least.
if you don't have the time to spend with me, have a download. So in the show notes is going to be a link to a downloadable PDF, and it's 25 time tips for busy people. So if you don't have that time for 30 minutes for me, then do the download and chunk your way through the 25 time tips, because it will give you really practical, hands-on tips and tools that you can put into your life to create more of the time that you're after to create the results that you want in your life and make life easy.
Yeah, and when you're listening and you do this and you download that PDF, remember, you don't have to do it all in one day.
Nice.
Okay. Book time, however you live, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, not much more than that at one time, because then you're going to get distracted. Your mind will go back to ground zero again. But book some time to review the PDF, choose the top 5, 6, 7, and tips that Les is providing you, and follow them.
Yep.
And then
and if you're listening to it and you're in the car and you have a good memory, which I don't recommend, I recommend writing things down, but it's getmoretime.com.au, because I'm in Australia, /time tips, TIMETIPS, time tips. So it's getmoretime.com.au /time tips, and it's a free download.
Okay, everybody, I hope you have that information and that you've remembered that, because that's it. So you all that are listening have to re-listen to this podcast, because this is a good use of your time, because you're going to save time, make more money, and have a better life.
Yeah.
Listen to what Les Watson has said. Buy his book, Get Back an Hour in Every Day, the A to Z of Being More Productive. And you can also buy that on his getmoretime.com.au/store. And make more time in your life to have more fun.
Exactly. And get back some sanity. How about that? How's that for a link?
There we go, people. That's why you're here, to find more sanity. I am so grateful to Les Watson for being here today, because he's covering a topic that pretty much everybody has a problem with. And he's helping you, the listener, to get more time back in your day and keep you sane and healthy. Thank you, Les, for being here. It's been wonderful.
Welcome, Joanne. It's been a pleasure. I hope there have been some nuggets for people to run with, and happy to engage with anybody that wants to reach out. It's been great. Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to AskJoanneVictoria.com to listen to more podcasts. Check out Joanne's coaching programs and get a free copy of her report, 5 Steps to Achieve Life-Work Harmony. That's AskJoanneVictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.